Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1543B, and today's date is April 12th, 2018, and the title of the episode is Enjoy the Show. The Deep State is in the process of being duped again. Let's get into the economic collapse, political, and geopolitical news. Now, it looks like the deep state, they are becoming very, very desperate. They're throwing everything out in the corporate media, trying to bring down Trump, and it really looks like they're trying very hard. I wouldn't even be surprised if there's another false flag out in Syria, just to show that, yes, see, Assad is still using chemical weapons. We need to go in there, and I think they want him to bomb Russia, bomb the Syrian army, try to get the war started, and go down this impeachment line. Again, Congress is the only body that can declare war. And if they go after the Syrian forces or Russian bases, well, that most likely is an impeachable offense. And I think this is what they're trying to do. But we see right now that Devin Nunes, he is getting the unredacted memo that he originally wanted. Only certain individuals were able to see this, and this is the whole thing that started the Russian collusion hoax. And this is a 2-page electronic communication that was supplied to the FISA court, and it looks like, with the heavily redacted version that they got, they couldn't make heads or tails of it. Now they're finally getting the other part of it where it's unredacted, or mostly unredacted, where they can actually read what has happened here. And I think the Democrats, the deep state, they're very, very nervous about this. We know that Paul Ryan, well, he's resigning. And I wonder if it's because of this photo that was put out there with him with Mufaz, which is the same individual that is with McCain. And I'm starting to see that there's all these links between McCain, Al-Qaeda, Hillary, Obama, ISIS, and all of this information is starting to come out. And we can see right now that he might be looking at this going, okay, I was part of this. I need to, exit stage left here. And it's not just a Democrat or Republican thing. Both of them are included in all of this. There are really bad actors in government. Most of them are corrupt today. And I think a lot of people in government are they're going to end up resigning, because a lot more information is going to be coming out, and there's going to be a huge amount of trouble. We know that Zuckerberg, he is sitting in front of Congress, and we know a lot of the Congress members receive donations for their campaign from Facebook. So a lot of these congressmen, congresswomen who are questioning Zuckerberg, well, they receive campaign contributions. So, how far can this go? Well, Zuckerberg is really not under oath either. But what's coming out of this, it is showing the world that they take your data, they censor. And during the meeting with Zuckerberg and the government officials, Representative Marsha Blackburn asked Zuckerberg, do you subjectively manipulate your algorithms to prioritize or censor speech? And Zuckerberg replied that he doesn't think what they are doing is censoring speech, and that they do censor types of content like terrorism. Blackburn shot back, let me tell you something right now. Diamond and Silk is not terrorism. Diamond and Silk are supporters of Trump who publish their commentary on YouTube and other internet platforms. Their Facebook page has over 1.4 million likes, and basically they were censored. They were taken down. Now Zuckerberg said, well, that was an error, and we brought that page back up. And of course, they keep saying all this is an error, but it seems like YouTube does it, Facebook does it, Twitter does it, and it's getting a little tiring that these are all just errors, that these pages are just coming down, or the channels are just coming down. And what we're seeing right now is that back on January 25th, 2018, Q posted number 605 about the Internet Bill of Rights. And this is all leading up to the Internet Bill of Rights, because the White House came out and said, listen, this is coming from Sarah Sanders, that everyone has the constitutional right to speak freely on platforms like social media sites. They're already starting the push for the Internet Bill of Rights. That is really where this is headed. And in the background, they're going to be dismantling the intelligence apparatus that is intertwined within this entire social media system, which we discussed in previous reports. We see the Chemicals Weapons Watchdog, the OPCW. They came out and they said, yes, we confirm that the Skripals were poisoned with Novichok, a nerve agent developed by the Soviet Union. But as we know, any country can develop this type of nerve gas. And of course, the UK was out there, see, we told you, but there's a problem. They don't know where it came from. It's almost like saying, yes, these two individuals were shot with an AK-47, which means it was Russia. But you know you can get an AK-47 anywhere. So their argument is not working. Actually, the UK government scientist Gary Atkinhead also said that, yes, Novichok was the poison, but we don't know where it came from. Did it come from the CIA, MI6, someplace else, Russia? We have no clue. So again, they have nothing. They are stuck. But of course, the UK government officials are out there saying, yes, we got Russia. No, they don't. They don't have anything. It's almost like being on a murder trial saying, yes, this individual was shot with a weapon. Okay, but who had the weapon? Who shot the weapon? What they're saying is absolutely meaningless at this point. We see the individuals in UK, they're saying, listen, and it's all over social media, we don't want to go to war, not in my name. And they're saying that we should not be involved in going to war. Actually, they have a hashtag not in my name, Theresa May. And the people are saying, listen, we have money to go to war, but we don't have money for education, police, fire service, the elderly, the disabled. And once again, that is absolutely true. Now, it looks like the UK has voted, according to the statement from Downing Street, saying that they agree on the need to take action to alleviate humanitarian distress and to deter the further use of chemical weapons by the Assad regime. Now, they made this ruling without, evidence. Of course, they're just out there saying that we need to go into Syria. Because remember, the deep state, this has been their plan from the beginning. Remember, they don't like to shy away from their goals. And they are finding that now is the time, because if we don't go in, guess what? We lost Syria. If we lose Syria, we can't get into Iran. And our whole entire system falls apart. Now, what's very interesting about all this, a BBC journalist, he exposed the White Helmets staging chemical attacks in Duma. He tweeted the following, that he was tired of these staged scenes, and then he deleted his post. But of course, on the internet, nothing is ever really deleted, and we're able to see his post. And basically, he was talking about the photo where individuals were hugging each other for the last embrace while they're being poisoned. And what they do is they continually, set it all up. They stage it. They take photographs. They put it out there, and they want everyone to feel that emotion of we must do something to stop this horrific crime. Now, again, these photographs, this is the aftermath. There's no link. It doesn't say who did it, how it was done. They just want people to get full of emotion, so they stop thinking. So they just say, yes, let's do this. This is what Nikki Haley does in the UN. She just says, horrific, gas attack. They always bring up the children. Children, they have died. We must do something. But she never shows the connection, the proof, the evidence. They don't want to show that, because if they do, guess what? They're in trouble, because it will show that the terrorists or the rebels. Now, think about this for a second. There's terrorists in the country. If you notice, nobody ever says, hey, you think it was the terrorists, because they are terrorists. You don't think they, pushed the gas attack. Now, they'll never go down that path, because the terrorists are the paid mercenary army. It's the army of the deep state. Now we see the first group of the OPCW experts. They're heading towards Syria, heading towards Duma. And the first group, they're on a fact-finding mission aimed at establishing facts surrounding the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria. They've arrived in Lebanon, in Beirut, and they're going to be heading off to Syria. Now they're going to conduct a complex of procedures for collecting facts about the alleged chemical incident, and they're going to take all this information and bring it back to the UN. Now, the representatives of the Russian Reconciliation Center for Syria inspected the place of the alleged attack and questioned local doctors, and once again, they really can't find any information about a chemical poisoning. They don't see the bodies, they don't see anything. The Red Crescent found no trace of chemical weapons. This is almost like the Red Cross. So something is definitely going on in Duma, which is a false flag, and this is why you don't see the evidence pouring out. The only evidence is coming from who? The United States, the deep state. That is it. And this is why Russia sealed off the entire area. Now, the Syrian army, they have arrested British militants in eastern Ghouta. Now, they found a number of British forces. They've been captured by the Syrian army during military operations in eastern Ghouta. According to reports, they are believed to be part of international military forces deployed in the region to launch a ground assault in Damascus, working with Al-Qaeda, the Islamic State, and the U.S., the deep state. These are the deep state troops that are in there. Now, a lot of these individuals don't want to even do this. We've seen them hold up signs saying, I don't want to fight for Al-Qaeda, but they're being forced to do so. And we see right now that the Syrian army has captured soldiers from Britain that were actually doing this. So a lot of this evidence is coming out, and we can see that the deep state, they're very nervous because as they lose their grip on Syria, they're going to lose Syria. Now, Russia is saying that the communication channel between the United States and Russia, it's still open, it's still active. They're still talking. And I just want to go back to 2013 for a second about the gas attack during that period. When everything was all said and done, of course, they were blaming it on Assad. They have the sarin gas, they have the canister, the missile that was used. What everyone doesn't realize is that Carla Del Ponte said the UN Commission investigating war crimes in Syria has strong concrete suspicions that rebels use chemical weapons. And this was printed in the newspaper, and it actually states that, yes, it was the rebels. Once again, the rebels, the Islamic State, Al-Qaeda, they're all one and the same. Now, Trump is out there, and he's saying, he tweeted again, that the bombing of Syria could take place, or not so at all. He didn't say he was going to do it. And we know that the U.S. carrier Truman, the strike group, is headed towards Syria. People are saying it's going to get there at the end of April, maybe the beginning of May. And, it depends on how fast they're moving. But we see right now that there is no real evidence. Actually, Mattis is out there saying there's no evidence on Syria, on the Syria chemical attack. They don't know if it's Assad. They have nothing right now. And the only way to get that information is to have people on the ground collecting evidence. Right now, they're saying that the evidence they have is from social media. That's not how you collect evidence. You go to the site and you do an investigation. You take soil samples. You talk to the people. You take pictures. You create a storyline showing how something happened, and you present the evidence on how it happened. Now again, the deep state doesn't want this to happen, because if it was done, it will show that it was staged. This is why they're pushing the attack and pushing very hard. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if the deep state has another false flag, another maybe chemical attack or something even bigger than that. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to push Trump into attacking. Now, we know from yesterday when I discussed his strategy, I don't believe he's going to be attacking the Syrian army, Assad's army, or Russia. That'd be absolutely ridiculous because think about it. In North Korea, why didn't he just go into North Korea, start a war with Russia and China? I mean, why would he wait for Syria? It makes no sense. And again, coming from Q says POTUS never broadcasts his moves. Trump is a strategist. He's a businessman. He knows how to play with other business individuals into getting them to do things he wants. He's doing the same thing with the corporate media and the deep state. He acts irrational like a bumbling idiot on purpose. Because, again, when looking like a fool, when looking like you don't know what you're doing, when you can't make any decisions, they think they have the upper edge. That's his strategy. But in reality, he's playing with them. And in the background, he's planning something completely different. And they think they have him. They think, oh wow, we're going to get him to fire these missiles. This is why you see on the corporate media, like CNN, they have 70 targets picked out or 20 targets picked out. He's going to be firing them in 24 to 48 hours once he makes the decision. And it's going to be a full assault on Syria. He's going to actually hit Russia. This is why he comes out and does this. This is why he wants the corporate media to go along with this. Because, again, they're doing no research. They're not doing anything. They're just listening to what he says. And they think that he's going to do this. And we can see right now, he's planning something completely different in the background. This is why Q keeps saying, enjoy the show. Because he's putting on a show. And he wants everyone to believe that he's a bumbling fool. That he doesn't know what he's doing. And he comes out with all these ridiculous tweets. Because that's all they could talk about. Look what they did with North Korea. And look what he did. He did the complete opposite of what he was saying. The same thing's happening here. But we know that the troops are going to be coming out. And the next move is in Iran. To get the deep state operatives. That's where all this is headed. Listen, everyone. Thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.